Welcome to the shit show.
I'm dancing, I'm happy, I am jovial, to say the least. Why? Because we're about to give thanks here tonight, Tom and I. Spoiler alert, I am thankful that I am not wearing a Jeff Jarrett shirt. And I don't know if Tom here, actually I do know that Tom cannot say the same. Tom, ever so close, it came down to Swerve versus Bobby. And in true, I mean, near as close to a squash match as you're going to get with a Swerve match. Bobby made quick work of my fears. And as I said online, I was like, with the world this dark as it is, I couldn't imagine also having to wear a Jeff Jarrett shirt. Tom,
Tim, the shirt gets worse. It gets worse as you wear it. Now it's starting to smell like chewing tobacco and tax fraud. I don't know what the hell has happened. Now all of a sudden, I've tripped old people trying to cross the street. I don't like the person I'm becoming, and this hell rag of a T-shirt that they got here. I don't know why anyone would sell it. You know who had to make it? It wasn't Pro Wrestling Tees. It was probably the devil, because that's what probably is the only thing that could make something.
No, it was Karen
centered.
It was Karen Jarrett in their basement with like a screen press,
no
cigarette hanging out of her mouth.
Yeah,
I know it's off centered. I've worn it. I've seen it.
I'm gonna move my mic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here you gotta go up a little. Here, let me put you on the main. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
There you see. Yeah.
Look, it's off center.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
It's worse. You know what'll make you feel better, Tom? Is friendship. And we have some friends in the chat here tonight. We've got Neon Ghost in the chat. We've got Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out podcast. We've got the Wrestling with Neurodivergence podcast. And if anybody else is watching us live, you can join in as well. They've already, there's so much here, I can't even read it right now. Not that I could read much very well to begin with, but they're talking already. We want them to keep talking. Talk to us while we're doing the show live. Join in. Meet some new friends if you haven't met some of these folks. These folks are awesome. They also have some podcasts, as you heard me say. Go check out their podcasts. And we are going to talk about so many things, Tom. So many goddamn things. So many things. We have holiday coming up tomorrow for some of us, right? Some of us American folks here. We're celebrating, giving thanks for... Yeah, we'll talk about that.
No one has time.
Yeah, we're going to give thanks for some things. We're going to do that. We had AEW Full Gear, which we alluded to. You clearly don't know how booking works, so you have to wear the Jeff Jarrett shirt. And then we had AEW Dynamite tonight, which means the start of the Continental Classic. And that's a lot. That's a lot to get into. So we're going to get into it. Unless you've got something that's pressing that you need to get off the chest. This is therapy hour.
Yeah, no, well, we remember how it used to go, really therapy hour. We're not going to go that far. I'm a volleyball guy. I told you about this last night.
You are a volleyball guy now. So you're a hockey
down
guy?
Hockey guy.
Volleyball guy.
Seattle Kraken.
You're a baseball guy.
I'm definitely a baseball guy. Seattle Kraken hockey team, cracking up. Now apparently I'm the University of South Dakota women's volleyball guy.
The Jackrabbits?
No, that's state. That's
State's the Jackrabbits.
So South Dakota State versus South Dakota in Kansas City, Missouri, which is that made me laugh. And so I wanted to go because our niece, who's 13, she plays competitive volleyball on like a traveling team. And so she's like, if I'm here for the holidays, I'm either going to read or do something cool. So we were like, is this cool? And she's like, yeah. And so here's the thing.
I love how we ask that now. Is this cool?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Well, so what we took, they're twins, boy and a girl. The boy, my nephew, we took to the College Basketball Hall of Fame. He loved that. That was fun. Plenty of basketball shooting things and learning all the stuff about Danny Manning and Christian Laettner, all the stuff. And so then we took our niece again to this tournament final, South Dakota State versus South Dakota. I guess I've always thought that volleyball was like the two-person volleyball sand, like that you see in the Olympics, where it's like one hit, two hit, and then we're done. No, this rally learned that Oh man, the rallies in this was really cool. Apparently it's called a serve. I kept on calling it a ball hit. I was like, come on, what the hit? People giggled. I just kept it going. And then so my team was South Dakota, right? And like you said, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, it went to a fifth game because you got to win 3.
Yep.
After South Dakota won the second game, I just yelled, "We're having rabbit for Thanksgiving," and that got a big laugh from everyone. So that was fun. And apparently, I'm going to be on the front page of South Dakota's student newspaper because I was front row in my red shark bait hoodie, fucking leading a chant of I forget what it was. Fucking awesome.
Get me yelling and I forget everything else that's going on. I just
yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big volleyball guy. So if you like volleyball, let's start a podcast.
Yeah. Years ago, I went to a K-State, right? A big K-State fan. That's where I'm from, Manhattan, Kansas, right? And we went to a volleyball game, which I'd never been to. And this was in, they've since built a new arena for them, but this was in the old, like 1890s basketball arena, right? Is where they played these volleyball games. And the students, these seats on the bleachers were ones that like they would fold up, right? Or you like fold them down. Well, they knew if you slapped it down, it made a quick snap. And they would all do it in unison when the opposing team would go to serve. So like right when they would throw it up, about 100 chairs would just go thwap and scared the ever-loving shit out of me the first time it happened because I was unaware. And I knew at that moment, I was like, this sport gets intense, man. This volleyball is no joke. Is no joke.
And actually, we should steal something as the AEW community from the University of South Dakota women's volleyball family section. So on game point, when you could kind of tell, right? Like it was 24, like 18. And on that last one, when they set it, they'll go, so they'll get the rally or the volley in return, right? So the family will go, you, and then the set will be, and then the spike will be, and they win the fucking game. So they do it on game point. So it's you. And we should do that for fucking finishers, right? Like when we can tell that the finisher is coming up, whatever it is, like we should start that. That would be fun. I think it would be fun. But yeah, let's talk about AEW because that's what we're here to talk about. How about this? How about we'll talk about Full Gear as we talk about Dynamite, because tonight's Dynamite was more about the Continental Classic, and then we'll kind of touch on anything that doesn't get covered throughout the Continental Classic and our final kind of thoughts there. So I do want to get your opinion on the Continental Classic since this was night one of a multi-week tournament that we got here. I'll read you the competitors. So from the Gold League, we have Darby Allin, Claudio Castagnoli, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, Brody King, Juice Robinson. From the Gold League, what do you think and how you feeling?
I was not listening fully because I've seen the list. This is the one with Brody King, and this is not the one with
Brody King. Yeah, no, Brody King, Juice Robinson, Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Claudio, Darby Allin.
Man, Claudio feels like somebody who's supposed to win almost every one of these matches, right? I mean, I know we can get a few in because of just like, you got, and then he's mad and he's staring, but Claudio, Brody is a menacing figure, but we've established that like he hasn't always been a winner of a whole lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So, but there is Will Ospreay. Hot damn. Can't touch Will Ospreay. So I'm really going Claudio or Will Ospreay on that side, right?
Although, yes, you can, because Will Ospreay lost at Full Gear to Kyle Fletcher.
That's
so
true.
We'll talk about that a little bit.
He did.
And speaking of Kyle Fletcher, on the Blue League side, we have our champion, Okada, Kyle Fletcher, as I just mentioned, Daniel Garcia, Mark Briscoe, Shelton Benjamin, the Beast Mortos. What are you thinking about from that side of
it's definitely
the
Beast.
Blue bracket?
I mean, if it's the Beast, it's just fake. If the Beast Mortos doesn't win this, I think it's rigged.
Yeah, I mean, so here's
it's almost
my
like
thought.
They're scripting it.
What? How dare you throw that accusation? Here's what I would say. I know it's the second year. No no retreads. I'm okay, for example, with Claudio being in year 4. Like, I don't think like once you've done one, then you can never do it again, right? But to go back to back, nah, that's what I don't like. So again, as I can always do it better than anyone else, if I have the pin, this is what I'm doing. So I'm getting rid of all year 2 guys. So Claudio, we're taking out, putting in Pac because we need a Death Rider. Pac hasn't been in it. He's just as exciting. There you go. Brody King, awesome, menacing. We're getting him out because, again, year 2. We're putting in Powerhouse Hobbs. Just came back from an injury. Also can just be babyface or heel, whatever you need. And there you go. Then on the Blue League side, I'm getting rid of Daniel Fisher and I'm putting in Hologram. Now, if Hologram is hurt, we'll take out Hologram as well. And then I would put in Jack Perry because Jack Perry just lost. We need someone from the Elite to at least have that in the ethos because, again, with the Continental Classic, that takes up most of the oxygen in the room. So there's not a lot of storytelling that you can get other than this. And so Jack Perry, I think, should go in there. He lost again. He should also kind of get something in return. And then with Mark Briscoe, you get him out. And I would most likely go with Anthony Bowens. I think Anthony Bowens as a tag team guy, if he could establish some wins, then you could kind of create that division with Acclaimed, and there you go. So that's what I would do. Get rid of those.
I just
tier 2 people
anymore. Hot take. Can't take any more Hologram seriously because he's clearly a knockoff of the mega superstar Harley Graham.
Well, so here's the difference is once we do the female tournament of the Continental Classic, obviously Harley Graham
wins.
Number 1 seed. Yeah, number
Undefeated.
1 seed. And so her counterpart, Hologram, okay, we got to put him in there,
Get
right?
Some of the rub.
Yeah, gotta get him some shine. Harley Graham, I know. Danger.
Send.
Yes, and can't compute. Oh God. Harley Graham. Great.
Wrestling with Neurodivergence Pod says Claudio is winning this thing. Sit down, shut up, mark out podcast says Mortos goes undefeated and squashes everyone.
So I propose that. I think if you want to have fun, because again, year 1 established Eddie Kingston, who's a top tier guy, but obviously not a, world champion level guy in his career up until that point. At the main roster, I know Ring of Honor, but let's all be serious here. So you can go outside the box. So I think to establish a new star, I really do think the Beast Mortos is the pick. Now, we all know what's really going to happen. It's going to be Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay in the final. That's who you're getting. I bet you Okada loses to the, last second to Kyle Fletcher to get to the Blue League final or, to the final. And then obviously Ospreay will beat Ricochet in the semifinal to get to the final there. And then at the pay-per-view, we're going to get Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher for all the marbles. Round 2, Ospreay wins. Come on. We all know that. So before we get there, let's talk about tonight's episode.
Yes.
So we kick it off with, again, November Rain by Guns N' Roses, but this time it's a recap, and it's narrated by Tony Schiavone. Or I guess it's narrated by Guns N' Roses, but you hear some Tony Schiavone in there and some, all the other fun people there. There you go. Awesome. Great. Cool. Now we get to the Continental Classic, and we start off with...
I was rocking out, though. I was in...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, Guns N' Roses. I do. They're fine. But then we get the better theme. The Hurt Syndicate come out. We hurt people. Oh, right. MVP comes down there. He's talking his shit. He says he's standing next to Walter Payton and Michael Jordan of this bitch. Right there. Cool. And then what does he say here? He offers a business card. It's like a golden ticket, he says again. And it's better if you take it because look at old stupid Swerve Strickland. And Bobby Lashley was like, yeah, I beat the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we go. Shelton Benjamin taking on Mark Briscoe in our first Continental Classic matchup of 2024. And what did you think of their opening contest?
I mean, yeah. Again, coming hot out the gate, aren't we? Right. That's what I thought about the Continental Classic. I was like, the names they put in this thing, and then we're just, you know what I mean? We're going right into this thing, right? With let's just throw them to the wolves. Now, I never was like Mark Briscoe's going to win this, right? But you know, what I mean, so yeah, I knew the whole time Shelton Benjamin was winning, but Shelton Benjamin never ceases to make it awesome when he's in there, right? So I was fine with it. I thought it was good to get us rolling, get us into the show, but never like a questionable like, oh, which way are we going to go, right? But I also kind of like that. It was like, get that out of the way, right? Get one of these easy wins out of the way for Shelton. So now, this will be an interesting part of the Continental Classic because we've been booking Shelton as this monster too. So just who can get a victory over him, right? Who can get points or who can draw or who can whatever, right?
Yeah, but again, Mark Briscoe doesn't win. I don't believe, at least, he didn't win a matchup in the Continental Classic last year.
Yeah, so
first matchup this year, he loses again. Was this the Brooklyn Brawler of the Continental Classic? Like, come on, that's again. We can't have the retread. If you don't have them in this year, and then whatever happens, blah 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 blah, and then the third year he's like, hey, I was in this first one, I didn't have a good showing, but let me show you the wrestler I am today. Okay, but then you just, what has he lost now? 6 in a row in the Continental Classic? Like, why is he in this thing? And yeah, to your point, Shelton Benjamin, looking timeless, not timeless Tony Storm, but looking timeless as ever. And he's throwing around old Briscoe, and he picks up the victory. So good, right? Good opening contest. Afterwards, we get MVP and Bobby Lashley coming back out. We're like, yeah, we're the fucking shit, bro. What you know about it? We hurt people, Awesome.
Love that too.
Yeah, love it. Then we keep it moving with Chris Jericho and Ishii for the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship on AEW television, which I still do not like, but we got it. It happened. So let's keep it going. Mercedes then walks out. Does anyone want to talk about Jericho? No. He won. Mercedes walks out and she's like, I'm the CEO. Now, let's pause here. Mercedes, Chris Statlander, full gear. I mean, right? This is one of the better Mercedes matches of all time.
Yes. And I think they said tonight was like the longest women's match, like the longest running women's match or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. We've said the strong suit of Mercedes Moné is these in-ring matches that she does. And Statlander keeps showing up and saying, you forgot about Statlander? Let me give you an A+ fucking performance.
Well, so here's the thing that I really think. This is the second, greatest match of the year candidate from Chris Statlander. So you have this match with Mercedes. Go back to her street fight with Willow Nightingale, which I think is maybe the best women's match of all time. Goddamn, what a year for Statlander. But this is what I think. It's just an issue with anything that's not in the main event level, is it tends to so Statlander has those two awesome matches, right? With Willow and then with Mercedes.
Right.
She isn't really doing, I know she put Mercedes through a wall and all that kind of stuff, but she's not really riding. We didn't see her tonight. Why did we see? I know Mercedes won, but we needed Mercedes is Mercedes, right? She could be off TV for 3 weeks, come back. She's still going to be right where she was. Statlander, though, we need to keep that ball rolling. And I thought we could have used her here tonight, but
yeah, I agree with you. Yep.
But what we get out of this promo is Mercedes saying hello to the CEO and old lug nuts over here. I'm going to fire her. And she's like, nope, small tits, I quit. And That's what happens. I think that's verbatim.
I'm looking at the transcript here. I mean, I can't scroll fast enough, but I think you're right. Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out podcast chimed in and said that was a great match. Wrestling with Neurodivergence podcast, however, said Guns N' Roses are fine, just fine. Bitch count one.
No, they're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine.
I mean,
they're fine.
Being generous to call them fine. Tom.
Well, they're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah. Hey, look, the Camille thing. We rushed a lot of this. Camille, everything was fine, and then a couple of weeks went to like, what a nerd! You suck. Get out of my way. And then you can't fire me. I quit. Are we close to running out of dates for Camille and just trying to do something to say thanks for your service or something? What's going on here?
I don't know. Yeah, I think we're trying to get her on her own. But here's also a thing that works against Mercedes Moné. And well, this is what I think works against her. She doesn't need muscle if she's winning straight up matches against Chris Statlander. What's the need of the big bad bodyguard if like when I get in there I just beat you myself, like, so I don't right. I don't
Corrected know. Wrestling with Neurodivergence pod says, come on guys, her name is Camel and you know it. That's right.
Yes, Camel. Old Camel Toe. She says I quit and
AEW.
I don't care
anyway.
She looks impressive. I also think another thing that we rushed out of this was I'm the strongest. Statlander saying I'm the strongest. That could have been something. We could have easily out of this said, like, we don't do that angle with Mercedes, right? Just Mercedes, Statlander, they don't like each other because jealousy or whatever, right? Mercedes is jealous that Statlander is getting all the headlines, right? Yeah. So then she beats her. And then Statlander's like, I want next. And Camille's like, oh, you think because you can do some bench press that you get the next shot? And then you could have done Haas versus Haas, meat versus meat, to then get the rematch for Statlander. Or if you want to do Camille next, get Camille, right?
I think an easy thing to book is just anybody can be booked on Team Leaves His Plants or not Team Leaves His Plants. So you could just easily just make one of them decide there.
Yeah, have Tony Schiavone hold a leaf and then say, is it plants?
Yeah.
Is it not?
They could just be walking and be like, and then he said leaves is plants. Can you believe that? And she's like, leaves is plants. And they go, no. And then fight.
Which, put a pin in that, because I want to bring up something here in just a second.
All right. Okay.
So we also get one thing I want to talk about, because it was the biggest reaction from Full Gear. We get a recap of the Boom, the Costco AJ versus God Tim. Oh,
Cutie.
We messed him again.
Cutie.
Dang, we messed him again.
Brother,
I blame the shirt.
It's not personal, Cutie.
I blame the shirt.
I
blame the shirt.
Exactly. We were like, oh, we said it all week. We were like, don't forget, we call Cutie at 7 Central Standard Time, the 1-2 time zone. And then the shirt made Tom irritable, and he dropped his phone, and he stepped on it, and so sorry, Cutie. We'll get
next time, Cutie. Next week we got you, Cutie. We always got you.
Next week.
AJ, we show a recap of the match. Apparently, it's being reported now from reputable sources. He broke his foot in this match, kept going. Because he's a hockey player.
I think they said it happened before, and he just didn't tell anybody. It was like,
oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Man.
He was like, I'm going to go in there. Again, he was a wrestler before, right? He probably wrestled with some injuries, so he was like, I know how this works. I'm pulling them off, and then they're going to be disappointed and never do this again. Doing this match.
Credit to him. And it was fun. It didn't suck. It was, again, I will say this. One of the quickest evolutions I think we've seen in television is how far field goal kickers can just boot it from like 700 yards now. But second, right behind that, is celebrity matches don't suck. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of celebrity matches in recent history that are like, that's pretty fucking good.
Logan Paul, dickhead, just like came in and was just like, I'm going to do it now. Do the wrestling now. It wasn't even like celebrity match. They were just like, man, we'll sign this guy. You know what I mean? Like, That's good enough.
Well, and then you also
what I
have
mean? Like,
then you also have Don't Touch Me With That Needle, Pat McAfee. He's doing great matches too. And then you got Shaq. He's doing great.
immunized. These guys are immunized, Tom.
Immunized.
Or not, it wasn't even immunized. What was it? It was like I think that was the term he used, right?
Yeah, that's what. But yeah, old Pat McAfee's like, I got vaccinated. I don't know if I would if it wasn't a mandate from ESPN. Fucking great. Live in your bullshit converted church and never go out, you fuck boy. Anyhow, so AJ, that was fun, right? We get this guy.
Whatever that, I don't know. Yeah.
And then we get the fatter of the two kids, the older one. He spears old Cutie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Cool. He gave a good spear.
Yeah. Better than fucking Adam Copeland's.
Man, I'm kidding. Cutie. Shout out to Cutie though. Like Cutie, I feel like you could give him anything, and he's gonna go out there and make it work, man. Cutie.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, Cutie. We'll get you next week.
So yeah,
Ghost
Jericho
is back. He says he's back. Neon Ghost is back.
Yes,
in the chat.
good.
I just want to say
good.
What's up.
What up?
Welcome back.
So if you missed it, Jericho wrestled. And then Renee Paquette is interviewing Swerve Strickland. This is interesting here.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, basically, you got destroyed. How do you rebuild? And he's like, well, one of the best things that we do is rebuild. Me and Prince Nana. And I guess just because fuck it, I'm going to walk through your interview. Max Caster just goes and walks. And Swerve is like, hey, the fuck you say? And Max Caster's like, oh, you're a bitch. I beat you. And Swerve goes, brother, you play that music, I'm going to dance, and just mollywops him and gives him the old 1-2. How's your father? Kick to the head. And Max Caster got his ass kicked. What do you make of this whole segment and whatnot?
So my initial thought was, I was like, what's going on here? Is he, we've discussed the business card from MVP and the Hurt Syndicate. And my thought is he in with the Hurt Syndicate, or is he just fucking with Swerve on his own? But now I'm kind of thinking they're going to pick up on this. He was, he's disgruntled. Him and
Bowens
are having their issues. So he's disgruntled. He was just in a shitty mood. Ran through Swerve and was like, yeah, you're a bitch, and got his ass whooped. And MVP's going to say, man, you traveled in numbers. This wouldn't have happened to you, right? They would have taken a good look at your suit and like kind of look at his fucking jacket or whatever and been like, I knew not to mess with you, right? And especially Shelton and Bobby would have been by your side. They wouldn't have messed with you, right? So maybe I think that's where we're heading, right? They're going to now say like, remember, we offered you a way out of this protection. Your tag team partner wasn't there for you.
Mm-hmm.
But we could be there for you.
Yeah, so if we go back to Full Gear, we get that 4-way tag match. Essentially, the story was told Anthony Bowens, Max Caster can't get on the same page. And that's why Private Party ends up retaining their championship belts.
Which I alluded to in our picks that I won, which is why you're wearing that Jeff Jarrett shirt. Shout out! Neon Ghost, who's back in the chat. Tino Ibarra in the chat says Max should have just kept walking. And Neon Ghost says Swerve going to rebuild his home with his enemy's bones. And Tom, with your Jeff Jarrett shirt on, sorry, you were saying.
So here's the thing. Yeah. So the story that was being made of the pay-per-view was Anthony Bowens, Max Caster. Can they coexist? Right. Now, the interesting thing that you bring up is if Max Caster does start to flirt with the Syndicate, you got Billy Gunn there. Billy Gunn MVP. They have some history, right? So Billy Gunn could be like, hey, motherfucker, you ain't playing this song and dance on me again. Yeah, I know what you're doing. And then he's like, what do you mean? And you could just have Bobby Lashley put him in the Hurt Lock, and now Billy Gunn's gone. Bowens is like, what the fuck is it? Now I'm by myself, I guess. And it gets jumped, They call him nerd and stuff. And that's what we go. One other thing, though, that I liked from this that I think we need to do more of, I feel as if when we're doing backstage interviews proper with like AEW thing, not merchandise, but signage behind us, it's official. Hey, we have this time for you, right? But when it's like this, when we're like, hey, we're catching up with Swerve, let's get a minute of your time. We do need more. Willow just happens to walk by, and then this person, and there's Serpentico and stuff. Because then this doesn't seem as what the fuck is happening, right? Because if we have just anyone, because one of the best feuds, kind of out of the blue, was when Bryan Danielson beat Eddie Kingston. Afterwards, they go backstage to interview CM Punk. Eddie Kingston's walking back because he just got beat up, and he's like, "Hey, fuck you, four." And Punk's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're a bitch." And then we get a feud, right? So if we're not doing, we have time set aside for the EVPs. I think we need to start making that more of a thing, because then this would have been like, oh, wait a minute, what happened this time? Yeah. And it would have been cooler, because it looked a little too beat, 1 beat, 2 beats, 3 beats, and then we get their payoff.
So in the chat here, we've got some questions. Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out podcast says, Caster turns on Bowens. Bowens joins Swerve Nana, to which Wrestling with Neurodivergence podcast said Bowens would be good with Swerve and Nana. I don't know that I would think necessarily that he's got to be like, I think he'd be down with him, right? Like, cool, fine, right? Like, but I don't need him like as a part of their crew afterwards, right? I think Bowens would be better off to be kind of like, look, man, he's a dick. I ain't suddenly friends with you guys just because he's a dick and he's fighting you. Like, you guys, it's your fucking fight now. Me and him ain't cool anymore. Do whatever you got to do. You know what I mean? I think is more the take I would feel like the character would do.
Anthony Bowens in the ring is phenomenal. I do think someone needs to maybe take him aside and be like, hey, 1980s promos isn't the coolest thing to do anymore, right? Because that's his just default. Is fucking chill, man. Again, I think I've always said this, but especially now with AEW, if you want to be different than the number one thing, then do different things. And obviously, he is comfortable with talking about his sexuality. I think not making him a caricature like Effie, but saying, look at this person with a different background that you typically don't see as being supported, unlike Billy and Chuck in the early 2000s. This is something that has representation that people can get behind. I think that's what you should do. But again, what the fuck do I know? Now, Swerve, though, if Max Caster does join Hurt Syndicate, does need something, because now that's 3 an MVP, pseudo 4.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see like 1. A trios match, right? But I don't need them a long term. I don't need like
no, I don't need
the Mogul Embassy or
yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
But who could come back? And no, I don't know anything, so don't tell me some backstage report from David Alvarez or whoever the fuck their names are. Who would be cool to come back to help him? His former tag team partner, Keith Lee. If you had Keith Lee walking out there and be like, oh, Bobby, you think you're so fucking big? What's up?
So Neon Ghost has a fun idea. He says, do you think then Max tries to take over the Hurt Syndicate like Rock did with the Nation, but they just kick him out?
Yeah.
I like kind of like how I suggested that Mark Davis help Kyle Fletcher beat Will Ospreay, and then the next, like, on Dynamite be like, here's why I did it, and then just have the family just beat his ass and be like, we didn't want you in the group, we just wanted to win that match, nerd. Right? Like, that would be great to do to somebody like Max here, because I think he could take that hit better than, say, like a Mark Davis could in that situation, right? Where we could write that into a story of Max being like, what the fuck, right? Now everybody's like, haha, nerd, right? And then he comes back with a vengeance or something, right? So I wouldn't hate that idea either, right? Like, they convince him that, like, we're here to help you, we're here to protect you, and it's just to, like, get a 1-over in one match that wasn't even, like, for a title. It's just, like, to win a match, and then they'll be like, nerd, we just use you, like, dork.
Take their suit back, you fucking
loser. Exactly, rip his suit off. This isn't really $1,000. We got this at JCPenney, you nerd.
Like, you nerd.
God.
Also, before we move on, one thing that I don't know if he's doing a great job of portraying this, but is Max Caster fucking not a good person? Doesn't it seem like he may not be a good person?
I mean, He does come across with a weird vibe. I will say
He
that.
he definitely comes across as a guy who thinks that elections could be rigged. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
He definitely
And so-
seems like he might think that somebody controls the weather.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely has tendencies of buying Jeff Jarrett's gold. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this will get me to the next level.
Right. Yeah.
By the
He
way,
might have
look
looked
that
into
up.
signing up to work for free for the Department of Government Efficiency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
And by the way, look that up. Jeff Jarrett committed fraud by selling fake gold to people. Stand up
He
human.
probably has his own crypto. Remember when the MVP was going to make us rich,
Well-
or the MJF? That was the
MJF, and
coin.
for a minute it did. We held on too long. God damn, that
We
was a
bought
fun
into the MJF
20
coin.
minutes. Yeah.
Skyrocketed for a half a day.
Yep.
I'm gonna
that
check
was
in on
fun.
that. Maybe it's worth something now. I don't know. I just
Maybe.
never even looked at it again. Man, if I look, I'd be like, $5 million.
Hey, fuck this podcast.
If you
No, I'm
never
kidding.
see this show again,
Yeah, bye-bye. No, I'm kidding. I'd still need someone to talk to. I don't have friends. So the next
we would just have better
is-
equipment. We would just be doing
Yeah.
this from a yacht
Right,
somewhere on a fucking island. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Next up, we have Tony Schiavone in the ring, and he introduces Hangman Adam Page. And here's the thing that I was going to say from earlier. He said, leaves his plants. You decide who you. I love that crazy Hangman. The music fits, the crazy eyes, the beard, all the stuff,
Yeah.
the jacket, and all that. He needs to be a babyface. He's the best babyface there is. Because even in this promo where he's talking shit on what he did, he refers to the heavyweight championship as the men's heavyweight championship, which only endears you to the same people who love you for leaves as plants. You're
Yeah.
only doing the things that make us want to cheer you. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you
So,
know,
like-
no, it's more of like the Hangman. Now, come on. Like,
Well, but
you know,
that's what
you're
I'm
not
saying.
that mad, but like, you know, you just need to breathe. Right?
Yeah.
Get you a smoothie.
But no one's booing that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's right. No
saying.
one's
So, like,
booing that. Yeah.
No one's booing that because Hangman's the greatest, right? And
Yeah.
so I don't know. Okay, so basically what we have here, so we'll talk about kind of the fallout from this segment that looks to be at World's End. But before we get there, Hangman comes out and was like, hey, I had a deal with Christian Cage. That's why I walked out there. Christian Cage is a dork. He couldn't do it. So I guess I'm going to have to do it because if no one could understand, I'm the champion. I should have always been the champion. I always will be the champion. I'm the champion. And then Jay White comes out there and goes, how?
Yeah.
And he does his little,
You're such a champion.
Rubber
You can't
band.
beat this guy.
yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Remember this time on Saturday? Remember the time before that? Eat you both, bitch.
Look at me. I've
And-
got 12 abs and I weigh 87 pounds.
Yeah, and I can kick your ass. And so he's talking his shit, and then Pac just pulls up and is like,
Love this.
suck it from the back. I'm
Yeah,
in my
said, "Nah,
full
you
gear.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my
Not
full
wrestling
gear.
tonight, but I am geared up. I got
You
my
ain't
kick
making it
pads
to the
on. I'm
ring, yeah.
fucking.
You ain't making it to the ring. And so that happens. Then Hangman gets jumped by Yuta, and we're getting all the fun stuff. Somehow Marina Shafir, Jay White then gets the upper hand on Yuta, I believe it was. Out comes the rest of the Death Riders, including our heavyweight champion John Moxley and Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir gets the I choked him out. Now, Jay White is like, I'll hit this bitch with my finisher. What the fuck do I care, right? I like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like, that was cool. But then choke out City, and Jay White's left there laying. So one thing I would bring up from here, going back to Full Gear, we had shenanigans in the John Moxley Orange Cassidy match. One of the things that we had kind of spark out of the fallout of that is Marina Shafir was out there beating up on dudes who are not going to hit her. And so who comes out? Everyone's favorite, Willow Nightingale.
Yes.
Bitch, get the fuck out. I don't know how we could have done it. Maybe all the guys separate She has Jay White in a rear naked choke. Then Willow comes out.
Willow!
But we still needed that to happen, though, right? We still, because it doesn't really, like, it makes sense on the surface value of Willow came out because you're beating up on his friend Orange Cassidy. Cool. But then also, maybe she's just like, I don't like her also. And then that would make her come out for this, because one of the things that whoever books this, everyone likes to say it's only Tony Khan. I think there's more people. One of the things
Bryan Danielson is one of those people usually, but I think he might not be there right now. But yeah.
But one of the things they don't do great on is keep the ball rolling. And this would have been a great opportunity that if Marina Shafir is in the ring just choking out Jay White, Willow runs down. Marina's like, oh shit, I got to get out of here. And then we keep that going. And now we've got a match for next week or whatever it is. But
yeah, because that would help that if Marina Shafir was doing something other than just this, right? Like, she's not in matches. She's not, you know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
She's just muscle for people that can't hit her, which again, good strategy, I guess. Again, but I wish they would address that, right? Like,
yeah.
They'd be like, Tony, we can't. What's the
Except
deal?
Jay White. Jay White's like, I'll hit it right now.
Yeah, Jay White. Which Tino in the chat says Jay White needs a mustache to twirl. Yeah, he's got that goatee, but yeah, like he does look like he would have been like the boss of the vaudevillains, right? Yeah,
get that vaudevillain guy, the one that doesn't suck. The one that did Miro Day, or not Miro Day, but Risk Day. Remember that guy?
Yes.
Whatever his name was?
Yeah, Aiden English. Yeah.
Yeah, get Aiden English and Jay White. That'd be the new vaudevillains. Because that other guy apparently sucks.
I think he also might believe lizard people.
No, that makes sense.
Or something.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. Don't quote me. I may be thinking of somebody else, but maybe.
But are you surprised? Anyhow, so we get all that.
I'm not wrong. I'm just like making people shit on this guy.
Okay.
Again, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly. Here's though. Okay, so one of the things I think of is what's going to happen here is Hangman, Jay White, Jon Moxley, maybe Christian are going to main event the next pay-per-view. Right? Like they're all fighting each other.
Or
something. Yeah. We did this with the 4 pillars during MJF's run. I could see that happening here.
It's the apocalypse match at World's End or something like that, right?
Jon Moxley, though, you're too good of a promo to not be talking. I need you to be like, and I'm hitting you because you think you can get one on me. Like, kick it. Like, it's too.
I still am just waiting for a reason to believe that AEW is in some kind of peril. Like, I don't like he's just beating a few dudes up.
Well, in this case, it kind of doesn't feel like we're going with that storyline anymore, right? Because this is Hangman Jay White, and they just say, we want to be champ. And Jon Moxley's like, you got in my business, go fuck yourselves. I'm kicking your ass.
Yeah, if it's more just about like, we are in charge and we're in power and fuck you. Like, you're getting this shit. I determine who fucking fight and all that.
Side note, I just thought of this. Where the fuck's the rest of the Rubber Band Gang?
So there was a lot of talk online of folks saying the Rubber Band Gang was going to come in and help Hangman, and suddenly Hangman was going to have 2 hired guns, if you will, but that didn't materialize, right? I was waiting, hoping some of that might have materialized, but honestly, I don't know. That might have been weird. But yeah, what
Juice
is
Robinson? Yeah.
What's up with the old gun guys, right? The finger bangers. That's their name, right?
Yeah, the gangbang banger.
The finger gang bangers or whatever.
Is I've got a good
Golden Shower Finger Gang Bang, whatever. Yeah, I forget.
It's
they're
great.
Play back the show to find out what their name is.
Yeah. That tall ass boy, though. I still want to. 2 weeks, they're going to be here. If you're here, motherfucker, I got floor seats. Come my way.
Were you saying he could not, right? He could not hit a jump shot? And was that one of the ones?
He was really good. No. He was really good. Kenny Omega has no fucking basketball skills. No, Nick Jackson and tall ass boy, pretty good. No one else. Which is weird because Jade Cargill was also there.
Nope.
He won a lot smaller than I thought, and 2 not good.
I played a lot of pickup ball to know that tall ass boy is not getting a clean shot off of me. He's going to be calling a lot of fouls, but he's not getting a clean fucking shot. It's not going to happen.
He ain't gonna get a clean
He's
shot
not
off of
good
me,
enough.
but that's a different
He's not
case.
good
I ain't
enough.
talking about basketball. I'm
He's
talking
not
about
good
these
enough.
hands. I'm talking about these hands. He ain't getting
Yeah.
a clean shot on that.
Nope.
I'll hit him with my tumor
Nope.
right there in the face.
Nope. I'll leave him saying like, "What the fuck? This guy's old." And I'm like, "That's right." And scored. Fuck me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I miss. God damn it! I haven't played recently enough. I need to stop talking.
Oh, I did. When I went to the college basketball experience, they have a full court.
I haven't played in a good while. It's been months, but
I'm so good. I'm so good.
Oh.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I couldn't use my left arm. Couldn't use my left arm because I can't dribble.
Right hand layups the whole time.
Well, it was like, dribbling in between.
God, you can't even granny shot. Man, you gotta...
No, I can't. In
okay.
front of my, it's
you can do that.
like
That's right, because you can't get it up over, right? Yeah, that's almost. So you got the granny shots, and then you can Kareem hook that thing all day long
with the right.
The other one.
With the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking 3/4 hooks.
No
all
look
day.
passes.
All day.
Doing well.
All day.
Hey, Claudio then walks
Still young.
out.
We're the youngest men alive. Well, we're the second youngest men alive. I think. We're the second.
As always. Yep. So we get all this fun stuff. Jay White's left out looking like a silly ass. And Claudio walks out, and we get the next Continental Classic matchup again in the Gold League. And it's Claudio, Ricochet.
Now this.
And what'd you think?
Again, this is where I thought this is what we got these matchups for, right? This is what the good lineup. I liked it. Again, Ricochet is not my favorite style of wrestling, right? I'm not the flippy shit guy, right? I know, it's not my thing. But Claudio always does well with a flippy shit guy, right? So we played
Claudio
those hits. Yeah. So we played those hits, and good. I mean, look, this is what this is, right? The Continental Classic is. Tino says, "I love that bald representation," right? So we got that. And yeah, the cue balls were out there knocking each other around, right? Looking like the Blue Man Group out there without paint on. And they gave us something good. I thought it was fine.
The Blue Man Group is retiring. Did you know that?
Are they really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Vegas in February. Are they still? I might have to see if they're out there and catch show before they're done.
I think next year is like their last year. Have you ever seen them?
I'll be in Vegas when the Kansas City Chiefs will be winning a third straight Super Bowl. So I'll be having to watch it from Vegas.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Blue Man Group, though?
I have not seen the Blue Man Group.
Oh, man. One of the humble brags that I got, I don't know how it happened, but I saw Stomp and Blue Man Group together same night. Stomp opened up for the Blue Man Group.
I saw Stomp here in Kansas City.
Yeah. So
not opening for the Blue Man Group. I just saw them as like their own standalone show.
So cool.
It's good stuff.
I liked it a lot. Anyhow, so Claudio wins with just a clothesline, which I thought was interesting. Just a mollywop. Yeah. Another thing, though, Rick, I don't know anything about anything, and he's been doing this for 100 years, so time is undefeated. But Ricochet seemed a little slow. It didn't seem like the fast-paced Ricochet.
A little older.
Like,
so he's Richard O'Shea now instead of Rick O'Shea.
Well, again, maybe I'm just a jerk, but like, did it seem that way to you? Because
I didn't like pick up on that, but I mean, I also, if I'm watching it under that lens, I may see what you're saying. But he also may have just been like, "It is round one, guys. Right? We got a lot to do. Going to be in Tulsa on the Saturday night."
Well, and so this is Ricochet's second loss in a row, and that could be because he wrestled at Full Gear. Well, he wrestled at Full Gear and he lost to Takeshita. And so this is 2 losses in a row for Ricochet. Thought that was interesting. Maybe. So when we announced this, the Continental Classic, we kind of got like 10 to 15 seconds from each person, I think. And when we got to Ricochet, they're like, "Hey, sucks that you lost tonight, but you got Continental Classic." And he's like, "Yeah, thanks for reminding me that I lost tonight. And this Continental Classic, I'm going to take over." So are we getting I'm a heel or badass, no one's better than me ever in the world, Ricochet? Is that potentially where we're going with this?
I think they flirted with Ricochet being a little more snarky and having more attitude than we've ever seen, at least from, his main stage days, right? WWE. So perhaps.
Well, it just dawned on me. He also got a business card from MVP.
I wouldn't hate if like this MVP, if we're all talking about like who's going to join next, if there's like a one-time sudden cert where like there's like 3 people all of a sudden that are like, bam, and now he's got this army out of nowhere, and we're like, oh shit, the Hurt Syndicate is real, and they're about to hurt some people.
Well, and you can make different levels of this, right? So Ricochet would fit your high flyer, right? If you added Max Caster, obviously Shelton Benjamin, another big time tag team guy, that would be your tag team. Your heavyweight champion main event guy is obviously Bobby Lashley. So those 2 additions would make sense. But maybe that's where we're going, because they kept flirting with the like, hey, Ricochet will be out there. He keeps losing these matches, especially, I'll call this out. If Ricochet loses to Shelton Benjamin, right? Because they're both in Gold League. Let me make sure that I'm not speaking out of my ass here. No, Shelton Benjamin's in the Blue League. Damn. I was going to say, if Ricochet loses to Shelton Benjamin, then it's 100% happening. But if Ricochet loses, if he goes 1 for 2 in his next 3, maybe MVP's like, hey, Shelton Benjamin over here has won 3 straight. Wouldn't it be cool if you were with us? You'll get better. All right. Maybe
we're the best. Tino brought up with Claudio, and Ricochet says, is Claudio a fast-moving guy, though? So maybe he was just matching his opponent's energy, right? Maybe he was slowing it up a little bit, because Claudio was like, look, brother.
Yeah, definitely. Could be
too. The shits earlier from that Taco Bell, I can't.
Yeah. Like he's eating Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't.
He hadn't even seen a Taco Bell in fucking 10 years.
Yeah. I bet you he didn't know what Taco Bell was until he moved to America. He's like, what the fuck are these fat asses doing? Which, by the way, number 6, 2 gorditas and a crunchy taco. That shit rules. Next up, we get Renee Paquette. And she's talking to Kyle Fletcher and old head wound Don Callis. And old Donnie Boy says, we're the best. And Kyle Fletcher says, that's best. And we move on. Then Adam Cole. Well, hold on. I guess this actually does deserve some time. What'd you think of this match? Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay. Kyle Fletcher wins at Full Gear over Will Ospreay, clean as a whistle. And now they're both in the Continental Classic. That's why I think we're going to do this rematch in the finals for the championship. Yeah?
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Man, you're not down with all this as much, or like?
I think it's fine. It's just, let's keep the momentum. It felt like this was and that's the exclamation point, which in this one specifically, okay, fine. But a lot of this felt like, and now we're done with that. Moving on. And it's like,
yeah,
what the fuck? Orange Cassidy's bleeding from his head. What's up with him?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. We did not address at all that Orange Cassidy.
Well, they said that he got
fucked. You know,
well, they put chemicals in his, cuts, and so he's taken out of action. But go fucking see him, right? We got him. We're going to talk about Adam Cole and MJF here in a second. We got MJF having a personal fucking camera at his house. Why don't we have that? Go catch up with Orange Cassidy. And we're not catching up with Willow Nightingale and Marina Shafir. It's like, sometimes kids, okay. I'm going to just speak side quest real quick. I like the Continental Classic. I think it's great. I think it's cool. I don't think it should be a championship. I think it should just be like King of the Ring. Winner gets a championship shot at whatever championship they want. But that takes up, like I said, a lot of the oxygen in the room on a 2-hour show. So everything else, in my opinion,
spread it out.
Has to, everything else though has to fucking hit, right? If you're doing match, which is great, right? We love wrestling, but everything fucking else needs to be Statlander putting Mercedes through a wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it needs to fucking hit.
Yeah, I do think, again, we were coming out of a pay-per-view or whatever we call them these days, right? And so I think that's usually because that's why you get that slowdown, is because they're like, oh, now this thing. And I think, like you're saying, they don't seem to like plug enough things together for our taste, right? I do think, like you said, we do cram it in quick. I know it sounds weird to spread it out more, but like you can focus more on each of the individual matches when there's not 3 of them in a 2-hour show, right? and kind of build the story of the tournament itself and how each individual match matters when we're not having to go through all of them. And they did do a good job of blending in the storylines into this today, at least so far.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? They're trying, but yeah, I do agree. Like, I think, I probably, I think you might have started this a little earlier, right? If we want to end it at World's End, but we're here now.
Yeah, I just need everything else to pop, 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 pop. And it's kind of like, okay. And again, I'm maybe being, I'm not giving it the respect that it necessarily deserves because it is just one show, maybe on Saturday, which is again, 3:00 in the one true time zone on a Saturday afternoon. So maybe they just start hitting home runs out of the gate there. But this one felt like we could have done just a touch more. But anyhow, so let's talk about Adam Cole. He comes out now all of a sudden with the Kingdom.
And not orange.
Yeah, it looked good. Well, he wasn't wrestling. He looks okay if he's not wrestling. And yeah, he looks like an icicle when he's just doing promos, and he looks like the bottom of a Cheeto.
This looks like he had a flat tire on his way into this town, didn't have time to hit the bronzer on the way in, and just had to roll out there. And he was like, "You expect me to go out there looking like this?" And they're like, "Gotta go.
Just tan, brother. Just really get a tan. It's okay. The sun's not your fucking enemy."
Got a pool. You want to come hang? Come for
yeah.
I mean,
don't you live in Florida?
Great, but, yeah.
Doesn't he live in Florida?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, come on. But anyhow, he comes out, and then, like I said, all of a sudden now he puts on the Kingdom shirt again, right? Got rid of the Adam Cole shirt for this night.
Oh,
MJF.
What shirt are you wearing?
God damn it. MJF beats look at that. You froze. Good. You should have froze for that mean ass derailment of whatever the fuck you did there. But we have MJF on Saturday beats Roderick Strong, breaks his hand, does all the mean stuff to whatever the fuck he was doing there. And now we get to tonight. And Adam Cole walks out, like I said, with the Kingdom. And he says, "If you're gonna fuck me, yeah." Neat. And he says he's not gonna just beat him up for himself. He's gonna beat him up for Strong. Neat.
Recording
and he
progress.
says, "I'm gonna do this, but I'm doing it for Strong." Okay. And right. And then MJF comes out, or he doesn't come out, but he's up on the screen, and he's like, "Hey, I heard you both want to fight me." Psych. I've got to do other things. Mainly next week, the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. What is that? I don't know. And so, of course, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, they say, we're both in it too. So now we got 3 of the dozen in the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. I believe, if memory serves me correct, which again, I'm on chemo and I have brain fog. So if I'm wrong, shut up. This is the final 2 then wrestle for the Dynamite Diamond Ring, which has only been won by MJF.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, what do you think? Huh? MJF beats Roderick Strong. What do you think of MJF beating Roderick Strong? First off,
I love MJF. Right. I've talked so much about how it feels like he's in the top 5 of my favorite all time suddenly. Right. But man, this whole thing has been weird. I haven't liked it. The match with Roderick Strong was good, but again, we're coming out of it, and now it's Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole both want to fight MJF, and we just fucking forgot Roddy Strong exists for a second.
Well, apparently he got hurt, right? They broke his hand.
I don't know. And then, I like that he was like, the way he shits on people's fun, right? He's like, oh, listen, I was thinking about this for the last 20 seconds, and I'm like, no, right? And just so back to what I'm doing. Fine, all that good, but I know sometimes. Look, you can't always be number one, green light, everything's great, and so sometimes we stall a little. But this just really isn't like I'm not hooked with any of this, and so I'm just kind of waiting for it to be done.
Well, here's what I thought, especially after the pay-per-view was over. Now, again, it was on a Saturday night, which works into my favor because staying up late isn't always the best thing in the world anymore. But this could have been on Dynamite. MJF versus Roderick Strong could have been on Dynamite. It served no purpose except for adding time to a 4-hour. By the way, and I'm sorry, like, we need to stop conditioning ourselves to having wrestling pay-per-views be longer than the fucking Godfather. Okay? Like, you know what I mean? When people bitch about The Irishman, a Martin Scorsese film that was really, really good, being like, I got to break this up into 2, and that's not as long as the AEW and WWE, pay-per-views. Fucking come on.
Here's a hot take I've got, right? I know so in this day and age, we get a lot more wrestling than we used to back in the day, right? With each week, with each show, and there's more pay-per-views even. So, like, we're a little oversaturated. And I know we build to a big match, so we want it to be a memorable match. And so how to stick out from a memorable match when there's a lot of matches is we've got to have this, like, longer match. And know that's, man, every 30-minute match you gave me would have been just as good and cool in 15 minutes. Because a lot of times, you guys kind of did the same thing 3 or 4 times, or you had a false finish 8 times when you could have had it 4, or you know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes we overdo it because we think, like, everybody's waiting for this moment. It's like, yeah, but kind of, right? Well, waiting for this moment, but not for, like, this and the next moment and the next moment. Like, we need to concise it a little bit sometimes.
Well, and again, not to go on this long side quest here, and we'll get back on track in just a moment, but to continue this thought, one, as I mentioned, we need to stop being conditioned that 4-hour pay-per-views are okay. No, they're fucking not. Okay? They're not. No. And 2,
I don't sit still for 4 minutes usually. So 4 hours is a stretch.
Well, and it exhausts the crowd, right? So you're not getting the best crowd reactions on the pay-per-views. In this case, an MJF match on Dynamite makes you perk your ears and go, well, we don't see that very often. What could happen? And you want to watch for that reason. And then 3, we as a collective community need to stop saying that it has to be 25 minutes for it to be a classic. Bullshit. Again, big meaty men slapping meat. Brock Lesnar Goldberg 2 at WrestleMania fucking ruled, and that was 7 minutes. So, like, stop telling me that Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, Randy Orton at WrestleMania 22 fucking ruled. I think it was 12 minutes. Stop telling me that we have to have 30, like you said,
Daniel
30
Bryan,
false finish and stuff. All this.
Daniel
Easy,
Bryan
not
Sheamus.
Sheamus.
Classic with Sheamus.
I knew you were going to say that. But
you knew where I was going. Say, God damn it. How did you know where I was going?
I will say, though, it did spark a story, right? Like, if they would have just done it and Daniel Bryan loses, you know what I mean?
Right. 20-minute match, and we would have been like, nobody would have ever remembered that.
Exactly. So I do
Sheamus,
think
he's that good.
He's awesome.
Hey, Sheamus is fucking good, though. Yeah.
Yes. And also another triple side quest. If you ever get the chance to meet Sheamus, fucking do it. I've been fortunate enough to meet dozens upon dozens of wrestlers and other entertainers, sports and movies. He's the best of all of them. Better than Holly Berry, better than Danhausen, better than Ric Flair, like all of them. He's the best. So meet Sheamus if you get the chance. Could not co-sign that more than I can by saying that. But again, going back to, come on, guys. It wasn't 20 minutes. Well, why? Why does it have to be? Well, there's because everyone says it has to be 20 minutes. And so,
well, and that's the thing too, is like, I
No,
get
man.
that you guys are proud of your cardio of being able to go that long, but I also consider that the floor that you guys should be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, like, again, I get when we have Iron Man matches and we say we're going to go for 30 minutes, we're going to go for 60 minutes, and so we do that. But yeah, I don't need, the rising action, and then we dip, and then we rise again, and then we dip, and then we rise again, and then we dip. You're only supposed to do that one time, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to go over that.
Yeah. So anyhow, back on track. Tim, hold on. Let me check the notes here. Tim.
It is.
It's right before the main event.
Yes, it is.
So
the
Tony
Khan
spreadsheet,
special format off his Excel spreadsheet says, so right before the main event, that means it's time for the women. Yes, we always get our women's matches right before the main event. That's when they are.
Look at this. Oh, can I do this one? Oh, is it going to do this one?
Oh, what does it do?
Oh, it does. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. See, if you're listening back on the podcast, you should watch back, or you should watch us live when we do it, but you can also go back and watch the video on demand. But you should catch us live normally Thursday nights, but, there's a holiday on Thursday this week, so we do it Wednesday night. You can see all the fun things that happen on Tom's screen when he does random gestures, and then you can also see when we have technical difficulties like we had earlier, and I had to drop suddenly and get back in, and then it was all a mess because this is live. We do this live for you. We are vulnerable, and we are here for you. We are giving you our true selves right here live.
Yeah,
for you to win.
And for new time listeners, that's a phrase I coined. Don't take it from me. New time listeners. What we're pointing out, if you've never heard us before, is it's death, taxes, and the Tony Khan Excel spreadsheet says women right before the main event. And this was another episode where that happened. We're wanting more women's wrestling. We're wanting more women's stories. So that's what we're saying. And also shock us a little bit. Have Jamie Hayter versus Queen Aminata kick off the fucking show. Huh? That'd be cool. That's all I'm saying. And that's all we're saying when we do the time for it, because it feels like it's a come on down. Yeah. Because it's the same rinse repeat that we're doing here. But we're doing the same rinse repeat. Jamie Hayter, Queen Aminata. Now, this is for the International Women's Cup qualifying match. And as I understand it, with my dumb brain, there is a AEW contingency and a Stardom contingency.
Yes.
And was there any other promotions? Look at that, balloons galore.
Yeah, I don't know. Is New Japan involved in this or anything? Because it's
New Japan's counter is Stardom.
Of course, Stardom is New Japan. But so then, is there any other other countries, or is it just?
I think it's Mexico potentially, and that's we don't fact check either here. So I think, hey, let us know in the chat now that we kind of do have. Yeah.
Which again.
Fact checkers
all for
here.
The tournaments and all for the international, working relationships, but we're doing the Continental Classic right now, right? So now we also have this, you know what I mean? Thing. It feels convoluted.
Well, and I'm going to say something mean. Yep, I'm going to do it. We also
shocker.
Yeah, sometimes wrestling fans can't handle you telling us more than one thing. And here's the catch. The finals of the International Women's Cup qualifying match is at Wrestle Dynasty in January. But it's in January.
Oh, yeah.
The pay-per-view in December is World's End, which this doesn't take place in. But we're starting that now. But the tournament for the men that we also started tonight, that does end at World's End. And so you're carrying the one dot I,
Tom?
Crossing the T's. It's
I followed you very easily. The thing is at World's. Yep. Yeah.
World's Dynasty. There it is.
Nailed it. World's Dynasty. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this match was good. Jamie Hayter, Queen Aminata, they put on a good old fight here. I will say Queen Aminata. This was a wrestling match. I will say Queen Aminata. She's got the goods. I also would like to see her win.
True.
It feels like I saw her fight Britt Baker, loss. Jamie Hayter here, loss. Mercedes Moné, loss. And it's not like she's not fun to watch and got a good gimmick.
Yeah.
But maybe you have her win.
Yeah.
Wins.
But we also need something. Again, if this is a queen, show me her queening things, right? She needs
Who would
some
you join
subjects,
her up with?
Some minions or something?
The minions is Athena. Athena's got the minions over there in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, she needs some loyal subjects, right?
Mm-hmm. You know what I would do? I'd make it a power couple. I'd push her to the main event, give her a power tandem of fucking MVP. Huh? How about that? That'd be someone. The king is actually the one pulling the levers and sliding the faders, and the queen is out there. Because here's the other thing about fun stuff about nature. Queens are the ones that actually take care of the pack. The kings just roar and fucking masturbate. Like, it's the queens that really do the shit here. So maybe show that with. Yeah.
I fucking knew it.
I've been a king. I've been a king since 14. That's crazy.
Yes.
No, but maybe show that, right? Maybe show that the king, even though he's the number one,
strong kings.
Yeah, right there. But have the queen be the one that actually protects the crown and all that. Like, that would be cool.
Yes, that's what we need something where, again, fill in if you're in the chat, or hit us up on our social medias, which you can find the links to at allelitewrapup.com, with your thoughts on what would you do with Queen Aminata. What's the storyline? Tom, are you thinking about roaring and masturbating over there? What do you?
Nope, got it. Nope, I got it. Nope, that's on Tuesday mornings. I got what this is. You know who should serve at Queen Aminata's foot? Prince Nana.
Oh.
Prince Nana serves,
and Swerve can be like, "What are you doing?" And he can be like, "It's my queen."
and then just say Swerve Strickland is the king, right? Hey, if you're with him, you're with me.
King.
And then she's like,
he does use the lion imagery already, right? So there you go.
And then she may be like, I kind of like you. And then there you go. The first family of AEW. Damn, I'm so fucking good. Brain here. Jamie Hayter wins. And so
Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out podcast chimed in mentioning the groups involved in this
there you go.
International Women's Dynasty Battle for thing.
International
Stardom,
Women's Cup.
AEW, CMLL, and ROH.
Yeah. So I would
AEW
guess
and ROH are the same thing, right? We can say that, right?
Well, but Athena is the one who runs the shit for Ring of Honor. Now, I do like that. This is where, though, to that point, thank you so much for Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out podcast for giving us that information. That's where I wish, like, for tonight example, don't have Chris Jericho defending his Ring of Honor championship on AEW television. Because Athena has been murdering it over in Ring of Honor, and we haven't seen it.
We get Mark Briscoe forever while he was still got him.
Still got him. Nothing for
take.
Athena.
Here's my hot take. And we didn't get this as a grouping, I think, this time, but we see too much of the conglomeration.
Well, but it's just such a catch-all, right? So like Kyle O'Reilly didn't really do conglomeration shit tonight.
Right. This week, none of them, we saw a bunch of them, but none of them did a conglomeration thing. But
that's
weeks prior, it's been, we saw them, and we also got a conglomeration thing. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm seeing too much of the conglomeration. I know we like them, but too much. Breezy Hack says, international tournament for the women to compete in ROH, AW, and NJPW, which, is
Stardom.
What we were talking about there. But earlier in that, they said, make a special tournament for her to win, to be treated more like a queen. So, we could get Queen Aminata gets a tournament, is like, to be the queen or something, right? It's like, now I've made it truly so.
You know what she wins? The Owen Hart tournament.
The Owen Hart.
She gets the belt, right? She gets the belt. I'm using pimped out in an incorrect way. I can't think of another phrase here, but we want to show Owen Hart as much as we can. So putting that championship belt on a new queen of the ring, because kind of aren't we really saying that here? even though we think the Continental Classic should really be that, but we digress. Yeah, have her win that. There you go. Willow won it 1 year. Why couldn't Queen Amanada? You know, we love Willow. We love Queen Amanada. There you go. So Jamie Hayter wins, and we have her pick up the victory with her Haterade. Then post-match, she's like, "What's up, crowd?" I could kind of tell. Maybe this was like some real feelings. She was like, "Are you guys sitting on your hands?" Like, she didn't say that specifically, but there was like a lot of like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Like, to the crowd, right? Now, she does this like, "Hey, come on, what's up?" And lights go out. Then we get a spotlight. We think we're going to get old Julia Hart. Nope. Psych. LOL. Doesn't happen. Jamie Hayter's just pissed off. What do you make of this? Are we just slowly getting Julia each and every week?
Yeah, we're going to get Julia versus Jamie Hayter, which is, okay. Right? It's weird if I told you, all right, we're doing this Julia Hart character. Now that she's back, we're going to build it up. We're going to do these spooky vignettes. We're going to talk about it's time to come home. We're going to make everybody wonder what's going on. And we're like, all right. And her first victim is Jamie Hayter. And they go, why?
Top name?
Right? Because
well, yeah, it's a top name.
I guess, but like it just, you know what I mean? Like I still think we could have found a tie, and look, they could explain it later, right? There could be you would ask like, why did Hangman show up at the end of the pay-per-view? We need an explanation. They try to give us an explanation, but like, so maybe, but maybe we're gonna find out she was my trainer and she, you know what I mean, stole my lunch money or something. I don't know. Here's your big brain going.
Big brain. Here it is. Well, we got old Ass Cheeks. She's out with a broken foot or whatever it is. What's her name? What's the brunette girl that was following Julia Hart that always has her ass out?
Sky Blue.
Yeah. That's what she just. You're not must-see TV because you fucking don't wear pants. It's like, I don't know, but whatevs.
Yeah.
But she's out with an injury, right? But she's out with an injury.
Look, I tried to not wear pants on a podcast and nobody tuned into it.
Oh, you know how many times I've been to work with no pants on and they tell me to go back home? Fucking bullshit.
Remember, though, how we did discuss that we should do this podcast live stream the whole time with just our bare feet up, and we would probably make a lot more money on this thing.
A lot more
just
money.
Put our bare feet up on the microphones right up in the camera and just talk wrestling just like we're doing. Just have our bare feet up.
Well, so here's the thing. The tie could be that since Sky Blue is out with an injury, Julia Hart's new protege is Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford just got her ass kicked by Jamie Hayter. There you go, right? You could say Penelope was always my person in the waiting. Those 2 years she was out, she was learning from me. And then Penelope's like, I loved her, whatever, right? And then Julia could even have, when Ass Cheeks does come back out, Sky Blue and Penelope, brunette blonde, got all the hair colors. Oh, and then she gets Jamie Hayter. We got all the hair colors. All the colors of the rainbow. Just under Julia's thumb here.
Tino says, I hope Julia is just like, because F Jamie, that's why.
I mean, yeah, that could also be, right? Like, you're a former champion. I don't like that. That definitely could be. And anyhow, but again, new time listeners, I'm kidding with the whole Ass Cheeks thing. It's just a lot of people like her wrestling when it's only posting photos of her butt. And that's kind of weird because, as we mentioned, there's porn. Watch porn if that's what you're trying to see.
Well, while you still can.
Yeah, while you still can. And this was before the world ends in January. But so maybe after what happens in January happens, okay, let's get behind Sky Blue. But until then, porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then that is going to be porn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So then
it will be.
More Sky Blue, right? Yeah.
Welcome to America now.
Yeah.
It's great. Yay.
Hey, so one cool thing after this, though, because it's going to be the payoff happens when we're going to be at AEW, is where you get Renee Paquette sitting down with Mina Shirakawa. And Mina says, I knew that Mariah was going to do this. If she could do it to Tony Storm, she could do it to me.
She's smart for this shit.
Yeah.
She said, I got a big brain.
Yeah, she goes, big brain. And I see what Mariah's up to. Boom, gets hit right in the back of the head.
Yeah,
Didn't see
you
that
see
coming.
what Mariah's up
Yeah.
to? Yeah.
Oh, Molly
That's what
bops
she
her
should have. She
upside
said,
down.
"Oh, do you see? Like, oh, you didn't see
Yeah.
that, did you, bitch?"
And it was announced that in 2 weeks, winter is coming. We're going to get Mina Shirakawa versus Mariah May in Kansas City. We'll be there. So if you're looking to follow us on that night, usually Wi-Fi is not great for like consistent posting. So you might not get us then, but you'll get pictures because we'll be floor seats.
Yep.
And tall ass boy, you want to walk by me? I'll put
And then you
5
can,
across your lip.
Watch us live the next night when we talk about it.
Because look here, I get down with the get down. You want to play that music? I'll dance. I'll put 5 across your lip. Won't even think twice. Come on there.
From Independence, but I'm in these streets. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I fight for my freedom and for you to fucking be in the ground. The main event was next. And it's a Continental Classic Gold League match. And here's the question of the night, Tim. So it's Brody King taking on Darby Allin. Fun match. Darby's beat up here because he decides to wreck his car for funsies. So he's beat up here. Brody King. Well, I think he thought he was going to catch him, right? Like, I think because he was like, right. So that's okay, right? We'll give it a little pass there. Yeah. But Brody King beats him. And so, Tim, question of the night, is Darby a loser?
Darby's a loser.
It feels like Darby might be a loser.
Here's what I think you can do with Darby because of his stature. You can make him a loser until so long, right? Like he loses until, no, fuck this. Now it's a street fight, no rules, no whatever, and now you just can't keep him down, and he fucking slits your throat eventually, right? Because he just won't die. So I think he could do that.
Well, but here's the problem with that so let's take a look at kind of the benchmarks of Darby Allin's recent track history, right? Mm-hmm. So he loses this first match to Brody King.
Yep. Which
he loses.
We say a lot of people lose to Brody King, but I mean,
no, not really. Yeah. He loses his title shot to Jon Moxley.
Yep. Yeah.
He then also,
and now Jon Moxley is going to ruin AEW or whatever.
Yeah. Right? But here's the kicker to me. And now you kind of shot yourself in the foot for people who pay attention to this week in to week out where we're like all invested. He also lost to Jack Perry in a coffin match. If you have him win the coffin match, well, now I can think, hey, you could beat Darby Allin in a one-on-one match, but if you get crazy with him, he owns this.
Jack Perry beat him, and then now Daniel Garcia beat Jack Perry. So now I think Daniel Garcia would beat Darby Allin. Darby Allin's moving down this totem pole. You know what I mean?
Well, but what I was getting at is like Darby Allin's signature match. Now he's not even winning because he beats Brody King in a coffin match, but he loses to Jack Perry, and that's his recent history. Now, to your point, what we could do here, if we wanted to have fun, is Darby just can't get on the right foot. He keeps losing matches. He maybe goes home for a reset. Someone
talks to his dad.
Yeah, comes back and gets in his ear, and then we get the fucking
like I told you.
Reset. Yeah. I mean, he could get the reset from a Sting. Hey, what the fuck's going on?
Here's what
that would happen.
You've mentioned this enough, and let's lean into it. Jack Perry is the new age Raven. Let's get him a flock. And now Darby Allin's losing, and Jack Perry's in the back going, come with me, right? Like, we can change this, right? Like, now that would require Darby kind of taking a back seat to Jack Perry.
No, Darby, if anything, should be his Tommy Dreamer, where he's like, you motherfucker, Jack Perry, I'm going to kick your ass. And he's like, sure you are. I always beat you. And then finally, Darby finally beats him. But yeah, just like Tommy Dreamer did, but that was because Raven went to WCW like a dummy. Actually, it was a really good move. But Brody King wins, chokes him out. Gonzo bomb. Wow, got him. And here's where those handshakes might be coming paying off, because Brody King wins. He's like, all right, beat Darby. Fuck that guy. He goes to walk out. Claudio walking out there. Hey, I'm a death rider. I kill these people who want to mess with us. He has a chair. Brody King runs back in with a chain link around his fist and is like, what'd you say, pal? And Claudio's like, all right, you prick. We'll fight next week, but you're really ruining my fun here, you jerk. And like he literally like throws the chair down and like, oh man, ruined it. Like it wasn't like mad or like it was just like, man. And then that's our show. So what'd you think of the post-match angle with Brody King and Claudio?
Yeah, that was an interesting move, right? But again, Brody's been playing this kind of like protector giant.
Mm-hmm.
A little,
Julia Hart, and now,
yeah. So, okay. Again, their reign of terror is foiled by a menacing look from Brody King, right? Like this Death Riders thing need to be a little more problematic for me to really buy in, right? Like they're just doing normal flora for wrestlers, right?
With this specific segment, I'm okay with it because the train of thought could be, hey, I'm going to take advantage of Darby. Oh shit, he's coming out there. Yeah. All right, well, if I get
fight,
Pac,
I wasn't here for a fight. I was here for
right. Well, and also if I get Pac and Moxley, all right, we could fight Brody King, but is Buddy and Malachi back there hanging around?
Yeah. So
fuck it, we'll wait till next week because it was announced that next week we're going to be getting Claudio versus Brody King and another Continental Classic matchup. So we got that to look forward to. So that was our episode of Dynamite. What did you think overall before we wrap up here?
I thought Dynamite was good. I liked it. I liked how they're coming out with the Continental Classic, like how they started it and the hype around it. And I think the stories are still going. I think we could tighten a few of them up, but I was giving the show good marks. I liked it. I was enjoying myself.
I liked it too. I think, as I mentioned, everything outside of the Continental Classic, we need to be making big splashes because you're not getting a lot of time, right? You're not getting 2 segments for filling the name. Like, I don't think for the rest of this tournament, we're going to get 2 segments with Swerve Strickland, right? Like it's your one and that's it for this week. So you got to make it count. So that's where it's just like everything else, we got to ramp up a little bit to make us dig our teeth into it. But 2 weeks, winter is coming. It's going to be here in Kansas City. So we'll be there for that. As mentioned, this Saturday, 3:00 in the One True Time Zone. That's Central Standard Time, Arrowhead time, Mahomes time, Kelsey and Swift time. We've got AEW Collision. So act accordingly. And that's what we got. We got a really good card on Collision. We got Hangman and Yuta. We've got Osprey. We've got Okada and Garcia. So must-see TV from that point of view as well. So got some fun stuff on the way on this day. You know.
On this day.
Yes, I am excited for what's coming up, right? I'm excited to go live to AEW. It's been a bit. I'm excited to be there, to scream and yell, just be outright belligerent. I'm excited to go and do that. And I'm excited that everybody joined us here today to talk about AEW Full Gear, AEW Dynamite, Tom's favorite Jeff Jarrett shirt, which you'll see again next time we do picks. And you'll see him wearing it the next time. Nope. Anyway, it's never going to leave his possession. And it's my favorite thing right now. It's the only thing, giving me hope in this world. So, Tom, the next thing that's giving me hope is all of you fine folks being right back here next week with us for another episode of All Elite Wrap-Up.
Time.